Hey guys, welcome to the Testing Academy. My name is Pramod and welcome to the 30 days API testing challenge. And this is the day 21. I hope you are doing fine. And today task is to basically we have to complete an exercise on club.ministry.com. And it is all about basically the request chaining in Postman, right? So in this video, we are going to learn about the how to do request chaining in Postman, how to basically build a particular flow. All right. So I hope you are excited to learn this concept. So let's get started. Right, guys. Right. So before starting out, I just wanted to let you know that we are on a mission to learn API testing course in 30 days. And I hope you are learning something by following it. If you haven't been following it, if you're watching first time this video, I will recommend you to watch the previous 20 parts. It contains immense value, and I hope you have liked it. If you have any question, contact me over the comment, or you can contact me or the contact at the testingacademy.com, right? So all the resources that you would like to see, especially related to all the tasks, are available at this link. This is the thread link where you can discuss basically I'm going to show you what is the task, and this is all about the 30 days where you can download all the resources that I have basically come up, right? So let me delete this thing. So we are running basically we are basically learning what is request chaining and how to share data or build a flow in the consecutive API request, right? So if you go to Ministry of Testing, so this is the task that this is a task list, and we have to complete a particular uh, request. So basically what we have to do is that we can do a chaining of APIs, right? So that's I'm going to show you how you can do it. So I'm going to show you with the basic example of a Postman, right? So let me go through this API first so that you can understand, right? So it's a GitHub V3 repo API. So what you have is that you have certain authorization where you can have your username and password. So go to github.com and create a username password, right? So that password can be used, and the authentication that we are using is basic auth as of now. So if you hit this URL with the repos, so let me show you how many repos I have. I'm gonna search here GitHub. Right. So I have lots of repos already created, right? So this is a get call. So basically we are going to fetch all the basically you can say all the repos. So if I do send, if you can see, right, what I'll do, let me show you how. So all the repos like test and test poster with some random ID, right? And let me open. So hello API, all the repos are already coming using this link, right? So this was the first one, and we have few of them, right? Few of them are private, so they probably are not coming here. But if you want to fetch the private also, there's another link that you can do, right? So there's a post call. Basically, if you go to the body, what you can do is that you can give the name call. So basically, in the post request, you can create a new repo, right? So let me remove this one. So example, if I want to create name with the name of Pramod, I can just click send, and if I do refresh here, I can see that a new request is basically a new repo has been created. So this is a new repo that has been created with the using by using the APIs, right? So let me move back. Right. If you see in the response also, they are returning the promote, right? And similarly, we have a patch request. Basically, in the body, what you can do is that you need to mention the name of your repo. So right now, I have parameterized using the parameterization that I have explained the previous video. If you haven't seen my variables and environment, definitely go watch out, because those global variables, environment variables, collection variable, data variables, local variables we are using in this video, right? If you want to achieve the chaining of the APIs, if you want to build a flow of the APIs, then definitely you need to learn those concepts in Postman, right? So patch is basically to update. If you want to update directly, for example, if I want to update, so Pramod I have created recently. If I do a request here, now if you see, so hello world is already there, right? So that's why it was not updated. But if I do hello world 2, right, so you will see that Prabodh is updated to hello world 2, right? So that's how you can do it. Similarly, we have a delete request. So if you do hello world 2 delete, you will get a 204. 204, it basically means that it is deleted. Now if I do a refresh, so hello world 2 is deleted now. So this is a kind of a, you can say, a full-fledged CRUD operation where you're just creating a resource, renaming or updating a resource as well as deleting a resource, right? So how do you achieve the chaining, right? So what you can do is, for example, suppose let me close the PyCharm because it's gonna hang a lot, right? So suppose what I want to do is that I before I want to basically dynamically create the name of the repo, right? So what I can do is that, so I have, you can, before making the request in the Postman, what you can do is that you can run this request. So this is a pre-request. Before running the request, what you can do is that you can add certain logic, create certain variable that you can use in your body as well as in the URL before sending. So what I have done is that I have basically created a name. It's a random name. So test posta. So let's do one thing. Let's do demo so that you can have a better understanding. So demo and a GUID. This is a variable which is provided by a Postman, right? It's a default random number, random GUID. I'm going to print it out, and if you want to see console message, you can go to show Postman console, and you can see all of the messages here also. So what I have done is that I am just gonna add this to a global variable. So this request will be available globally in the Postman. So this variable is available, right? So let's do one thing. Let me put myself here. Let's send a request. Right, right. So what I have done is that basically I have added a random number generated. So what I have added a GUID or random integer. So that won't work because that is already always is generated newly, right? So in the next request, it will be a different one. So we cannot make a patch request with that, right? So what I have done is that I have created a pre-request script where I have basically developed a random temp name, and let's click on send, right? So the name generated is basically now is the demo 11191, right? If you see here, it will be automatically created, right? And now what we are going to do is that I want to use this one. So if you hover over it, basically, and now the value is basically available here, and this is patch, right? And I'm getting the name, and also I'm setting here also, which basically if you have set in the previous request, that will work fine else always, right? So what I want here is that I want to name it as Datta. So I'm just gonna rename the demo name, right? So if we do Datta is there, let's see if it is yes. And as you can see, the parameters are also changed because it is now become a private repo, right? Because we have done a private is equal to true. So that's how you can pass the variables here and there, right? And how you can do the chaining, it's very interesting part. So you can do right. So what I have done is that, so suppose I have added a condition that, okay, if I was able to update the resource to the name of Datta, especially in the test, basically that this is a script which is run after our request has been done. If the name is Datta, then we need to call the ping. Else we don't want to run anything, right? So delete repo will not be deleted, right? So let me show you so how it's working. So what will happen in this case is that basically basic auth will be run. A repo will be new repo will be created, and after that it will be updated to Datta, right? So as of now, let's see if we don't have Datta, right? Yeah, Datta will be created, and since the name will be Datta, it will skip the delete repo and it will basically go with the ping one, right? So let's run it, right? So as you can see, since Datta was already created, so it will not delete the Datta as of now, and the Datta is available repo, right? So that's how you can do chaining, right? And so you can use something called as postman.set next request. Depending upon the logic, you can basically so if you have number of requests lined up, right? And you can skip the basically you can what you can do is that basically you can skip the next request. You basically call depending upon, for example, if if there is a particular condition, I want to run this one. If there is a particular condition, I want to run this one, then I can do. So in the else part, I can also delete the response, also delete the repo also, right? And if you pass null, nothing will happen and just will just stop, right? So since the name is equal to Datta, so ping request was done. If name was not equal to Datta, if the patch was not successful, it will just stop the execution, right? So that's how you can add logic to it. For the chaining perspective, what you can do is that you can use the global variables, environment variables, local, and as well as your collection variables, right? So collection variables are available here, right? And you can basically use them also. I hope you have learned something about it in this video, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye.